So, welcome to the first of many series, and this is the series of the Archer. Unlike before, where it was all about, showing you the game and how the game looks like and how the game works like, now we're going to focus primarily, or I want to focus primarily on why I designed the classes the way they are and their mechanics, and each one how they're unique in their own way. Okay, the first of many classes is the Archer. Okay, now the Archer, primarily like any, you know, just by the title Archer class, you should know that it's like, you could say somewhat like a ranger, or any of those type of long range classes. Okay, when I designed the Archer, I didn't want him to, or her to be, anything like the other classes, where primarily the focus is its range and its weapon, which is a bow, which give it unique range. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the cards. I'm going to talk about the abilities that it has and what its core mechanic is, as the gameplay progresses. I'm not going to show you the game. I want to show you the class. The focus is the class, the Archer, and what is so unique about it. So I'm going to discard the free mulligan, which is just gives you, if you want to reset a deck. As you could see, and this is something, in the future videos will be talked about when I talk about the game. I want to try to focus on the Archer. As you could see, the male and female classes are pretty much uniquely now displayed in differentiation. Okay, so one thing I want you to see is this is the female classes icons, and this is the male icons, and this is the monster icon. So when you hover it, you pretty much see the information in detail, but that's not the focus here. So now you see the character, which is this one, this Archer's current turn, and its name's Aldrich, and this is the potion right now that he has equipped. Okay, this is the animation. This is how much actions he could do this current turn. Okay, so there's a maximum of 4. Even though he has 5 cards, he can only do 4 actions this turn. Okay, that's very, very important to understand. So the current cards he holds, and there's one, as you can see, is grayed out, is because it's an interrupt. An interrupt usually, and it's a defensive card ability of the Archer, it's called dodge roll, is usually primarily only being able to play when it is the monster's turn. So when the monster comes and would attack Aldrich, this particular Archer, Aldrich, then he would be able to use this card against that particular monster to negate that damage, possibly. As you could see, that this card's ability is pretty much, well, the monster or whoever attacks Aldrich pretty much will get a +2 to target number on their roll to hit on the attack. So they possibly could still successfully attack Aldrich, but their success rate has just got more complicated. Okay, now something very, very important, as you could see, the abilities of they're all archers, so you're going to see their abilities are always on to the left here, and pretty much it's a primal roll that they need on the destiny dice. Every character has a die 10, which is for the damage, and a destiny dice, which is for their abilities to pretty much take effect. Okay, now some do have passive, abilities that do not require any destiny die rolls, but those are rare. Okay, and in this case, if Aldrich successfully rolls a primal on his destiny dice, he will be able to blink on a hit. The blink, basically, it's like a teleport. Okay, so you'll see when it comes into effect. The next card he has, which is primarily almost every class would have, is a reaction move. Pretty much he's able to use this card to move 2 extra spaces from his core basic movement. So every character's, especially Aldrich and every Archer, basic movement is 2, but with this card he could advance himself up to 4, so a total of 4. because 2 of the basic and 2 of this card will give him 4 movement. Moving along to the next card to understand it, this one is a battle card and it's an action, and you cannot use it when you move. As you can see right here, and this card is not able to be used. All right, and it has a range also on it. As you can see, the 3 range. Okay, this one you mark a target, and that target pretty much you'll be able to do, well, an extra damage, ranged damage to it, +1. Okay. The next card is a distracting shot. Just by the title, kind of says what it is. Action, attack, range attack. So you pretty much will do 1 damage, and it's the weapon's range. So we'll check the weapon later. Okay? You can only do this against 1 target. And if you hit that target, the target next attack roll is a +2 target. So you kind of confuse, you could say, that particular monster that you're going to attack with this card. So not only you do damage to it, but you also kind of disable it to properly attack for its next turn action by making it +2 target number. So that means if its success rate is 6, usually it will be actually 8 that it will need to roll to be a success or greater. Okay, so that's something very, very good to notice. Also, something to take notice is that you get penalized if you use this action while you moved. So you'll get penalized. So it will be pretty much also for you a little bit difficult to make this a success roll. So there's a +1 target number. So you can see so far from a lot of the abilities of the archer of what it is. So next one is the quick shot. It's the quick release shot, So it's a range attack and it's an action attack. So it's attack 1 target, okay? And again, you do 1 damage, and the range is based on your weapon. And we'll check that later. And right now you can see if you do not move, if you do this attack while you don't move, you get a bonus to your die roll of +1 die 10. So instead of the usual 2 die 10, you'll be rolling 3 die 10, all right, for this attack. That is if you did not move when you did this. And if you did move, you'll be penalized again. Okay? So now let's zoom out and see. As you could see, primarily like discussed before, its basic movement is 2. You know what I mean? And pretty much if you use this card, it will allow you to advance. As you hover on some of the cards, it kind of tells you the range of that, pretty much. As you see, this one's range is 3, so you can see 1, 2, 3, which is kind of correct right there, as you can see. Okay? And these are traps, which has no relevancy right now to your class and what it does. So let's see quickly before we move on, Aldrich's weapon that we decided. This is the basic level of the weapon. Basic. So the basic level says it's 1 die 10 bonus it gives. So that means primarily every class character, or especially the archer class, starts with, base 1 die 10. But because of this weapon, it gives it 1 die 10 for attack. It's going to roll 2 die 10. Hopefully I don't confuse you by saying that. As you could see also, the ability from the weapon, okay, is also shown on the battlefield. So if you roll primal, you can see more details to the ability. Blink to a space adjacent to the target upon dealing damage. So that's what would happen. On the bottom of the card, if you notice, the range is 4 for this weapon. So if ever attack with this weapon, it's 4. Now, the next thing is the armor. It's the basic armor, which every character class has. Okay? And this one gives you +1 to vitality. So hence why you start with 8. Usually it should be 7. And the final item, gear, it's an accessory which is not upgradable. You are provided to as an archer, which makes you immune to poison, unique to the archer class only, as it says there. So you cannot equip it or give it to any other class. This is something very, very important. Aside from that, you have seen this is the vitality, okay? And that pretty much just will allow you to see your complete deck. But right now I want to focus on what pretty much is on what displayed here on the battlefield. So this is the ability. So that's something very, very important. So let's skip his turn for now. We're going to go to let's discard. No, you know what? We're gonna use this ability and see if we get any other cards. Yes, we did. We got some new cards. So this is obviously a Rita. We should see in the video, by the way. And she, unlike the other one, you can see she starts with two abilities, which is kind of amazing if you think about it. So we'll see why she starts, and her weapon is the tree bow, and also a primal. Now, very, very important. If you roll two primals, you'll be able to do both of those abilities to take effect. But if you roll one primal, you can only choose one of the two abilities. Okay, so that's very, very effective. If you roll three primal, you cannot do the same ability twice in the same action. Okay, so that's very, very important. So let's see her abilities before we talk about her equipment or gear that enables her to have these two abilities. So here is the Arrow Storm. Arrow Storm is the basic, pretty much. It's a basic card, and action, attack, range. Attack all enemies within weapon range and 2x2 hex area. This is very powerful. So it's an area effect, pretty much. Alright, so it damages 2 based on the weapon range, and you get, again, penalized, as you can see by the movement. So if you had to use it, we're not going to use it, but I'm going to show it later. So this one, okay, so this one is the double shot. Okay, this is the double shot. Okay, so let's see, double shot. This cannot be used. No enemies in range, obviously. Attack the target, the same target. Okay, so here. So this one is, sorry for that, double shot. So attack the same target twice. This is very deadly when you want to attack an enemy that's very strong, and you pretty much attack it twice. As you can see, if you don't move, you pretty much get a bonus to your die roll, and you get penalized if you do move. And it's 1 damage weapon. Okay, range. This next ability is a very powerful ability, but it's only obtained in a special way. Okay, as you can see, it's very different from the rest, which is the green archer card. This one is black. You can only obtain it in a special way, which is via the keeper, which is, well, will be revealed in its due time, but there's a special way to unlock the keeper. And once you do unlock the keeper, which is already within the game, is pretty much, it's an ongoing ability. As you can see, if you do not move during this initiative round, your range is increased by 1, which is very powerful. So all your attacks pretty much get a +1 range, which is very, very important. So your range 4 weapon becomes a range 5. Now this is distraction shot. We already reviewed, and that's game movement. So let's equip this for now. And as you can see, it's an ongoing ability. Ongoing meaning it's permanent until, well, you replace it with another ongoing ability. Okay, so this is something very, very, very important. Okay, usually you can only have 1 ongoing ability, but there's special items, or when you pretty much upgrade your class, you can have 2 ongoing abilities at the same time, as long as they don't conflict with one another. So I hope that clears on this Rita's ability, the archer. And you can see her level here. Let's see her weapon that makes her superior. And this is the reason why. Look at that. She, unlike the other one, which was the basic item, she's got the blue tiered item, which means she upgraded it twice. So, and that's why it's 2 die 10 attack. She gets bonus. That means she rolls 3 die 10 for her attacks, because the base bonus that she gets. Alright. As you can see, look at the blink ability. It's still there. Okay. But only she gets now -2 threat at the attack she can remove. And look at that. That's also upgraded, but that's the base armor that every class has. And as you can see, at blue, she's getting +4 vitality, +1 courage. That's why she has 11 vitality. Okay. And this didn't change, which everybody has. So let's see the next character. Okay, so this one has a few new cards that, as you can see, this is the character. And we already know about the gain +2 movement. This is the piercing arrow, okay? So this one is action, attack, range, attack one target. And look, it's a very powerful attack. If you don't move, you get a +1 die 10, okay, to this attack. And obviously you get penalized if you move. But look at this attack. You can do 3 damage based on your weapon's range. Alright, so look at that. He's pretty much holding both of those cards because he's limited to 2, by the way. You can never have more than 2 of the same card. And look at that, free shot. This is a novice ability. As you can see by the green, look at that. This is a basic card, and this is a novice card. Look at that. You can see that. And what makes this so special? So on a hit, the monster is unable to move on its next activation. It has no effect on bosses. Obviously, it's very powerful. So basically, you freeze that monster in his action. Damage is 1 weapon, and you cannot use this if you moved. Okay, so this one we already saw before. Your next range, okay, maybe we didn't. Precision aim. This is you pretty much do it or use it before you're going to do any attacks because it pretty much says your next range attack action deals +1 damage. You can't use this card, obviously, if you moved. So let's see if we can see some other cards. Let's use this ability, the mulligan. Okay, so we see some new cards. We already saw the Arrow Storm, which kind of tells you it's an area effect, 2x2 hex it affects. Find weakness. You already saw that one. Rapid fire. We already saw attack up to. Oh no, we didn't see this one. This one is special to the archer. It pretty much allows you to attack 2 targets within range. So that's shooting 2 arrows at once and affecting 2 different enemies, at once. You do 1 damage, weapon range, and you get again a bonus if you don't move. It has no effect if you decide to move. Camouflage, now that's something powerful. You can't use it if you moved, but you gain stealth. What makes it so different from the thief class or the thief shadow is the fact that you gain stealth. You cannot be targeted until the start of your next turn. So basically, it doesn't last forever like a thief shadow where it could be permanent if played correctly. But camouflage, it's like pretty much give you a safe zone for 1 round. Okay, where you could avoid any attacks, incoming attack, but you can't use it if you moved. But it makes you avoid all attacks. Now, in this case, it doesn't protect you from AoE attacks, but it does protect you from single melee attacks as you're camouflaged. Alright, now we're going to allow the monsters to move and take their action before we proceed and further explanation. If you do have any questions, do make sure to, forward them on the bottom and write it. As you can see, the initiative rolls are done. And now we're going to see a little bit of action of how this class performs, in action. I do want to say one thing very, very important is that as you can see in the bottom here, it says level 1. I don't know if you see it very clearly, as clear as I do, but this means this card can be upgraded, okay? Every card of every class can be upgraded pretty much twice. So this can be upgraded to level 3. So it becomes much more powerful than it currently is. So you can imagine what it could be. So let's bring this card to action. Okay. So I'm going to go let's bring her closer. And she's going to use Arrow Storm. So let's see. As you can see, the 2x2 hex. So let's see what happens. And again, she only rolls 2 die 10. And you roll for each enemy. So that's the second, this is the third, and there's 4 targets. As you can see by there, you could change perspective of the map while you do. Oh, look at that assassination right there. And you can see all the information here. The target number was 4, and we rolled successes on each one, and the damage you do is 2, right? So on some of the rolls we missed, and actually we missed on all, or 1 out of 2 pretty much, But luckily enough, the base damage is 2 and their vitality is only 2. So we did a wipeout there. So let's see the next thing we could do. Attack up to 2 targets. Rapid fire. Let's do this one. As you can see, I don't know if you could, I don't have the range there, but you can see it targets 2 enemies. If I go here, it targets 2. Always going to target 2 within reach, but this one will give me a problem because I don't have line of sight. As you can see, line of sight is blocked. So that's something very, very important. So let's use this for this one. So 2 targets, and line of sight for the 2 of them does occur. Oh boy, I rolled really, really bad. I'm going to take damage from this. 2 damage, and I missed bad. And you might say, why did I miss here? I rolled 5, because a critical miss not only, well, causes you to take 1 damage, but also negates 1 success. Okay? Which is bad. So this one you cannot use because you could read what it says, but this character has moved. Alright, so pretty much end the turn right here. So let's see. Rapid advance. As you can see, moves up to 4. Can move any direction for, well, pretty much we're gonna move here and see what you can do. So we're gonna do a quick shot. Oh my god, I'm rolling like terrible. Distracting shot, even though it has no point. His enemies are very weak, so you can see +1 target number because it makes sense. I have movement penalty, but it was enough to cause the damage that I needed. As you can see, the rolls are really crap, but I managed to kill it. And as the monsters turn, they're gonna react and they're gonna come obviously after me. See pretty much the roll is 7 they require, and this goblin rolled 8, so it caused 1 damage. Let's see what this one does. It requires 7, rolled a 5, it missed. Oh, so this one has interrupt. As you can see, this archer has an interrupt, and it's this one. So let's see how this interrupt plays. So they're usually 7, so let's see what happens. So instead, see, target number is 9, it misses, it rolled a 5. You saw that? That's how it works. Well done. And I hope you're following me. Okay, so now let's see how this one works out. It doesn't have anything to move it quickly closer, and everything, all the monsters are kind of away. So let's see if I could do this one, and yes I can. Oh, shoot to kill, I like that. Let's see if I could do something again. Don't forget the weapon's range, right? So hence why I'm able to reach it, and there's no block of light in sight. Because as you can see, it goes right through between, and the target was right here. Like this one would be a problem. Here, let's just try. Oh, I can't use it because I moved. Okay. Gain +2 movement. Okay. Well, let's use this, my movement. Let's see what Rita can do. Rapid advance, Rita. Okay. So let's see what this ability says. If you do not move during this round. Okay, I moved, so I'm not going to get the bonus. I'm not going to need. Oh, I can't use it while I moved. Okay, and let's use this one. I'm going to get penalty, but I don't care. And you could hurt your own characters, right? And she rolls 3 dice because of her blue item. Whoa, deadly. And hence, this is the archer class. And how the archer plays out, there's much more to discuss and explain. And don't forget, the archer does upgrade to other classes, which the videos will come in later time. But right now we're focusing on the basic class. I'm focusing more like on the basic class as I continue to develop. I hope you like what you see. Any questions, remarks, or criticism, please do let me know. Otherwise, I hope you like this video, as I plan to present another video soon. Alright, thank you for watching.